Sources, Liquid, Target, siuhy. Oh yeah, also I'm out of practice. Subscribe to the fl0m Clips and Highlights channel. Welcome, welcome. 3 months after bringing in Nerds, Liquid are due to undergo more changes, with Twist yielding the IGL duties. You know what's funny is like this shows that Twist just wants to win no matter what and is gonna do what's best, what he thinks best is for the team, and people are still gonna be pissed at him. Like, I say this is the guy that hated Twist becoming the IGL as the guy that thinks it's not working. I still feel like people are going to be mad at him. Bro's like, all right, we can get siuhy. Like, yeah, I won't IGL anymore. To make space for the new edition, JKS is expected to step back from the roster and Twist will yield IGL duties to siuhy. So we kind of talked about this a few times during the co-streams and different events and stuff like that. And people seem to be like, why is it always JKS, JKS, JKS? I know a lot of people like JKS, and think of like JKS being removed off these rosters is less of a, he's just always kind of the odd man out. JKS isn't being removed off Liquid because he's some terrible player and he needs to be removed at all costs and he's what's causing Liquid to lose. It's just he's also not really helping. It's just not the right fit. They brought him in. It seemed like an interesting prospect to have him and Naf on either side. I would even say JKS in a lot of ways has probably been more influential than Naf in recent tournaments. But if I'm Liquid, I'm giving Naf the benefit of the doubt. And that might seem, if you're a JKS fan, you're like, wow, why are they getting rid of JKS? Naf's been poo, and somebody like absolutely valid. But you have to realize that it's Naf, man. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm going to give Naf the benefit of the doubt if I'm Liquid, especially if I'm Liquid. And it maintains their roster comp. And listen, Liquid's not even really an NA team these days anymore, but at least this way they can pretend a little bit. I think at the end of the day, I give the benefit of the doubt to Naf. JKS is kind of the odd man out in this scenario. It's not that he's getting removed because he's bad. He's just not the right fit. And now with siuhy coming in for JKS, now this actually looks like a roster that can compete outside of just this gatekeeping, like top 10 team. You know what I mean? And I say this because, and I just want to like I'm not defending Twist IGLing, but I need you guys to understand that I also think that in this roster comp could literally never work because they don't have enough firepower. Fragging IGL, sure. Like Twist, honestly, from a frag output standpoint, is doing pretty decent. And like people want to critique his calling. The real problem though is the real issue is that Twist as an IGL doesn't have as good of pieces as the other players in the top 10. When you consider that he is not going to be as powerful in the IGL role, when you look at these rosters, like Liquid wants to be here, right? When I pull up these rosters and I look at their composition of fragging power, it's not even close, in my opinion. Like when I'm looking at Rops, fl0m's, Mezzy, siuhy, and then I pull up Nerds, Twist, Ultimate, Naf, JKS, and that's with Twist IGL. It's just like, it's hard to even, like, when you see how Liquid loses some of these rounds, they just individually lose players what it feels like instantly. They just get bopped some rounds, and it's like, I don't even know how you're supposed to call. So I think I never liked Twist picking up the IGL role. I never liked star players doing it. I think it didn't really go all that great, but I also think that he never really was set up for success with this anyway. Like, if you consider what their aspirations are, this roster, I don't think had enough juice to, like, be where their goals were. So siuhy, so bringing this all back around, I think siuhy coming back. Now the dilemma to me is can Twist do what very few players do? Can you IGL and then go back and then be an individual beast? You don't lose mechanical skill, and I always like to go back to this Launders point, where, like, you can't really turn it off once you turn it on, like the IGL brain. So what does that mean? Like, what I'm trying to describe is when you start every single round of Counter-Strike as an IGL, it's how do we win? How do we do this? What do we need to do? How is our team approaching this? What are they going to do? And how are we going to beat that? When you're just a player, and this is good to think this way. It's not like, it doesn't make you selfish. You need your individual players. It's how do me, the B default guy, kill this guy that's at B every single round. He likes to throw this lurk smoke. He likes to have this tendency. I can exploit his weakness here. I can find timing here. I can look for my window of opportunity to kill this guy here. You need to be able to switch that part of your brain back on. You need to be able to turn that part back on and then turn off the part that's saying we. Like, wait, am I French? Anyway, like, you have to turn that part off, okay? That's going to be the interesting dilemma now that I think Twist personally is going to have. And I don't think he's going to fully turn it off because he was already a secondary IGL, like a very large voice in FaZe back in the day. And I can't imagine he's just going to stop yapping a lot. And he shouldn't. But it's going to be a very delicate balance now that he's going to have to really. It's going to be hard for him, dude. But now to siuhy, I think this is great. Like, I think this is a lot stronger roster composition wise. I think if Twist can, because Nertz is so fucking good, man. I know he hasn't been like world destroyer level rifler on Liquid, but considering, for those of you that don't know, he's pulling up, Ykinder type stats in terms of entry rate, right? Like in terms of how much this guy's going for entries and forcing an initial fight. He was literally just doing like Nertz's opening stats are the exact same as Ykinder's. People that felt like Ykinder was too aggressive, they have like a 1-to-1 stat line. So I'm hoping with Twist now not IGLing, he can help with that, and siuhy can as well. So I think we'll see a more powerful Nertz when he's not just feeling like he has to run around the map and take every duel possible. Like I think we're gonna see an even better version of him. I can't really I have no complaints about this. Now it's like, okay, can the form of these individuals get up there? Can Naf just perform how he was last year? You don't even need Naf to do more than that. My God, he was absolutely fantastic. Safe pair of hands, as everybody likes to say. Nertz, unbelievably good and talented, and was only surging. Twist, up and down, little hot and cold, but since he's been in the Liquid jersey, he's been individually, I feel like, on point. And Ultimate, still kind of, I don't know how I feel about Ultimate. It's not like you can't really just have an Opper immediately become Monacy or Shiro or Zywoo. And I think he is serviceable. I just also, hopefully, he'll open up a little bit and not have to be so either hyper aggressive or borderline just rifling full time, because that's what it feels like he does sometimes. No issues, man. I think this is a good move. I think I'm a little surprised it's happening before the major, but I'm down for it. I honestly didn't think any org was going to do it before the major. I've talked about why. It's like you never know what's going to be open in that window. And maybe this is why we're not seeing any siuhy G2 rumors, is because Liquid's been in talks with them. So we'll see. We'll see. I think this is a good move for Liquid. I'm glad they're not just sitting on it. I feel bad for JKS, but like I said at the start of this, it's not that JKS is bad. It's just that he's not the right fit. And when it's coming down to JKS or Naf is going to get the benefit of the doubt, and he's going to stay in the Liquid jersey. All right, now for the other news. Liquid to part ways with Myther as well. So, Danish coach is reportedly leaving after 8 months. The decision to let go of Myther is part of a more strategic restructuring of the org, which involves both sporting and economic factors. Told Liquid that is currently operating with a reduced financial framework. That's interesting considering they're going to be going after siuhy. Then is this going to be like their one move? That would actually be interesting. I do think that esports is kind of simmering down a little bit right now. Not that it's not like a bubble bursting as much as it is just everything was moving way too fast and people got to chill. And I think people finally are starting to chill. Like esports is big, just everybody's trying to force it to be bigger than it was. So yeah, because like if you're buying at siuhy, but then also working in a reduced financial framework, that means basically I think they're using all their budget for this move and it's cooked. And that also means that whatever, maybe like the interesting part is like, everybody likes to see the rumor of maybe Ash because the relationship with siuhy, but I don't know. I don't know who they get. Welcome back Adren, baby. Let's go, my boy. I have no idea who they'll get for a coach. It's hard. Coaches and valuing coaches is so incredibly difficult. You have literally no idea. And arguably, I would say the little listen-ins that they do are maybe worse than to paint a frame, because you're not really hearing anything substantial, because the real stuff, that real shit is never allowed to be, aired. It's always muted. Funny enough, kind of what created that blast clickbait. So you just don't really know the value. You can tell players a billion different things and identify all the problems, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to just fix it either. TC would be interesting. I think having somebody a bit more animated than TC would probably be nice, because this team is still going to be a quiet team, even with siuhy being a bit louder. I know that sounds like really generic and dumb, but like having a hoorah guy type in the background when you have really quiet, like Twist likes to pick and choose when he's loud, Ultimate's quiet, Nav's quiet. Shuei isn't necessarily quiet, but he's also not like the most amped IGL I've ever seen. Having somebody behind the team that can provide some energy, I think, would do quite well. But I don't really have strong, like having strong coach opinions feels like the most clickbait shit ever because I have no idea what he was doing. Like, not like, and I don't mean that in a condescending way. It's just coaches' jobs are done before they ever enter the server. And the things that they work on, they could be identifying all the right problems. But if players, for whatever reason, can't bring it all together, then it's like, do I blame the coaching? Maybe it's their fault for not putting in the right framework. Yeah, it seems like that one seems more like a change with the JKS change to try to just give the team a fresh start feeling rather than Mither inherently doing something wrong. Guess we got to wait and see with this one. I wish I could give you a more clickbaity reaction to this, but I just think it's so hard to properly evaluate coaches. I really do. You would just have to listen to players, but then even players don't really want to come out and like badmouth people like that. So it's, yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen.